Well, he's still on the Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Minister, who we've been looking at her issues for quite some days now, concerning the money that was disbursed into a private account, millions going to over half a billion of naira that was disbursed into a private account for poor, vulnerable people in some parts of the country, which has caused an uproar, in the country. Of course, I'll give you an update in a moment. This is Serious Matters here at ONF TV. Please do share videos, drop your comment, make them simple and simple. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had waded into the situation after, I think he got a wave of, how much people are looking into the matter and how much dust it had raised. The president had ordered the suspension of the minister. You are aware of that. Some persons have come out to say that this is a very good decision by the president, at this time, sending out this young woman. And of course, she is the youngest of all the ministers. And that sends a very strong signal, to the leadership of Nigeria, telling them very quickly how much decadence they have created in the lower or younger generation. One would have expected that, the younger ones will know better, but that's not the truth. They also have now imbibed the mentality of, if we don't get it now, opportunity once lost is forever lost, and things like that. So it's a surprising thing. It's a surprising thing. I mean, when I saw that she was 37, I was like, wow, really? Very young lady. And, with this kind of, she should have behaved herself and done the right thing so that, the future seats of leaderships will smile at her. I mean, considering this was the same lady who went to give testimony at Winners that it was Bishop Edu that prayed for him. Now you are casting, mess on the man of God. People are now beginning to say, if he prayed for you and you became minister, then how come you are now misbehaving and all of that? Well, that's not Bishop Edu anyway. And everybody has his own life to live, and so this is the way Betta Edu has decided to live our own life, even in this very privileged position that she has occupied. Well, Nigeria's president has suspended a minister over the alleged diversion of more than 585 million naira. That's equivalent to 500,000 pounds and $640,000 of the public money into a personal or private bank account. Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation Minister Edu was suspended on Monday following public outrage over the scandal. A statement from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he had ordered an investigation into Dr. Edu's ministry. Dr. Edu has denied any wrongdoing. She has, of course, that has always been the case. We always like to explain things, we'd like to explain it and tell us how, it didn't happen and how, if it happened at all, it wasn't me that did it and all of that. Well, her office said she had approved the transfer into a personal account, which was not in her name, but said it was for the implementation of grants to vulnerable groups. Dr. Edu, who is 37, is the youngest minister in the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet and is seen as a close ally of the president. Now, it's unfortunate that we have had people in this office, ministers in this office. The last minister, the minister of the last, administration is in trouble with the EFCC now. I mean, she just honored an invitation, by the EFCC, a few days back. It was yesterday that she honored that invitation, and it's about 37 billion naira that she's going to answer for. Why are people in that? Anyway, the point is, I'm not going to say it's just ministers or people in that ministry, because we've had it, consecutively now. It's this one happened, the last administration, I think the one before the last administration too, also did the same thing, and they had to, though the last one would have made it through, but then she still has issues. She has issues with the EFCC. Now this one is actually going in for, she's going to be with the EFCC in some days' time. She has been invited the moment she was suspended. In fact, I understand that she wanted to go and see the president very quickly yesterday when she was beginning to get a wind of her suspension. She had gotten through a number of protocols before, and the people there, the security got they got an alert that she has been suspended, and so of course that euphoria of ministership has been, he's just, they take time. They take time. Maybe they careful. Now she's now an ordinary Nigerian. Where they couldn't allow her to go see the president. Probably she just wanted to see the president to tell him her own side. But I don't know why she had to wait for this long. She just stayed there, was explaining to everybody, thinking that her closeness with the president will help her out of this matter. She has forgotten that the man too also has his own life to live. Well, the suspension of the minister is a rare, occurrence in Nigeria. Dr. Edu is the first to lose a job since President Bola Tinubu took office in May last year. His predecessor, Muhammad Buhari, sacked only 2 ministers during his 8 years tenure. Last week, local media reported on a leakage document that allegedly showed Dr. Edu instructing a senior treasury official to transfer the money to the personal account of Bridget Onielu, the accountant for the government's grants for vulnerable groups initiative. Reports that Dr. Edu had asked for the fund be moved to a personal account rather than a government one caused outrage. Mr. Tinubu had called for an investigation into the transfer on Sunday. He asked the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, for a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transaction involving the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, said a statement released on Monday. Mr. Tinubu asked Edu to comply with the investigation. The president also called for the reform of the government institution, tasked the social development, stressing a need to win back lost public confidence in the initiative. Of course, lost confidence already lost, because that's the way it has always been. I talked about Mina's case yesterday, where people's pensions are kept in private accounts, are taken out while the people who own the money are dying. The same thing is happening here now. When monies are supposed to be transferred to vulnerable people directly, when you have their account number, why can't you just transfer the money to them, the people who are supposed to benefit from this? And of course, this money is going to somebody's private account so that the person will share the money. You are sending 585.85 into somebody's account to give to some people. By the time the money gets to the people, it won't be up to 100 million again. I mean, this thing should stop. However, as I round up, the minister is yet to hand over to the permanent secretary. Permanent secretary still awaiting official menu. While the suspended minister of the Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Edu, is yet to formally hand over to the permanent secretary as directed by President Bola Tinubu. The Nigerian Tribune rally gathered, Monday evening. This is credit to Nigerian Tribune on that one. Well, as encapsulated in a statement issued by the special advisor to the president, media publicity chief Jury in Ingeleli, the suspended minister was directed to hand over to the permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, and she is further directed by the president to fully cooperate with the investigating authorities as they conduct their investigation. For barely 15 minutes after the announcement, our correspondent who visited the ministry learned that the minister left the office on receipt of the suspension letter, which was delivered by an official from the State House. However, the permanent secretary said I cannot act on a mere report trending on social media, but must receive an official memo on the suspension and subsequent directives. And so the minister is yet to hand over barely 24 hours after her suspension. Well, this is serious matters here at Tony TV. Betta Edu, trending at the moment. Not for the good reasons, unfortunately, for the bad reasons. Thank you very much for watching. This young woman would have made a mark, use her name to make a mark. Getting into government at 37, she would have gone a very long way, but then it's unfortunate. This is serious matters here at Tony TV. Please do share your opinions, drop your comments, make them simple and simple. Let us know what your opinions are. We'll appreciate you, and please don't forget, share videos. That's my name is Olukunde Abraham.